Welcome back everyone. Today we'll be going over a new method for duplicating Zonai devices on version 1.2.0. And yes, this will also work on version 1.1.2. The glitch we'll be using is called ZISD, or Zonai Inventory Shift Duplication, and normally this is the part where I would put the name and the credits up on the screen, but there were a lot of moving parts that went into discovering this, so much so that it's not exactly fair to just give credit to who discovered this step. So I'm going to have everyone who was involved and each of the steps they contributed to, as well as links to each and every one of them down in the description. But the long and short of it is, basically ZISD is evolved from hold smuggling and minus duping, which was evolved from MTD or Midair throw duplication, which was evolved from ISD or inventory shift duplication. So it's a long line and chain of discoveries leading to discoveries and information leading to more information. But I did want to give a particular shout out to Quantim, who made a video going over the whole process of discovery and figuring out this glitch. And that video probably realistically saved me hours of time in research and a lot of effort. So if you like learning about the steps and the thought processes that go into learning and ironing out glitches and discoveries like this, I highly recommend going and watching their video, and I'll leave it linked down in the description for you. So moving on to our requirements. The first thing I want to go over is the location. Because if you've seen my previous Zonai duplication video for 1.2, we're going to need basically the exact same conditions. Meaning that we're going to either need a small ledge that we can step up like this, and when we fall down, Link goes into that animation where his hands start going up, or a higher ledge that you can jump off of that will put you into that same animation. Either will work, but for this I'm going to be using just the small ledge because it's the faster and more efficient way of doing this, and in my opinion, also the easiest. As for specific locations, if you want to do this exactly where I'm doing it, then I'm just right here in Lookout Landing, right at the south entrance. And you can just use the side of this little walkway right here. Now for our items. If you saw my video on ISD, we're basically going to need to set up the same exact conditions, which means that we're going to need to have one Zonai device that is higher up in the inventory than the one that we want to duplicate, and we need to make sure that we only have one of it. And then for whatever device you want to duplicate, for example, say I wanted to duplicate big batteries, you need to have less than 10 of that device, and then the one directly to the left of it needs to be more than the one that you want to duplicate. Ideally, you want to have at least 10 of the item to the left of the one that you want to duplicate. So again, if I'm duplicating the big batteries, I want to have at least 10 small batteries for the most efficiency. The way I recommend setting this up, which admittedly isn't going to work for everybody, but it should work just fine for a lot of people, provided that you don't really use homing carts or construct heads, because these are the last two items on the list. So if you just keep your homing carts at 1 and your construct heads at 10, anytime you run down to the last of any Zonai device, all you need to do is, we'll keep using the hover stone, all you need to do is take it out, throw it on the ground, and pick it back up. And just like with items, it'll automatically place it at the bottom of your inventory because this one was a new addition. When you threw it, it wasn't in there anymore, so everything shifted up, so now this is at the bottom, which means that now this is in the perfect position for us to duplicate if you have homing carts and construct heads set up like this. Otherwise, you need to do some inventory shifting and number management. So this is the way that I recommend it if you don't utilize these two. As for the actual setup, you don't need to do specifically this. Wrong one. But this is a setup that I like that will work pretty well for you, specifically right here. So we'll just take this out and we're gonna just rest it down over this edge, and that's just so that way when we go off of this sideways, we have this nice big wall in front of us. You can also do this with carts. That's what I was using before, but smaller devices will spawn around the sides of the cart because it's not wide enough. So a wing will work better just for more surface area. So for the actual process, all we want to do is get up on our ledge and make sure, if you don't set something up like this, make sure that you have a wall in front of you that's going to stop you from being able to take out the devices that you're holding in your hand. So once you're in location, make sure that you have your inventory how you want. So I'm going to just get this down there at the bottom. All right, so then in position, we're just going to take out our 1. This is the one that's higher in the inventory than the one we want to dupe. This is basically just a placeholder that we just need to put in our hand. Once we're holding that, we're going to run off the side of the ledge. You don't have to run off it sideways, but depending on the ledge that you're trying to run off, you might get snagged on the end of it and it won't let you go off. So running sideways just makes it a little easier and more consistent to be able to walk clean off the side of it. So we're going to do that. We're going to walk off the side, and as soon as we go airborne, we're going to press plus to open up our menu. Like this. Except I thought it looked like I was a little early, so I'm going to do it again. So once we're in the air, we can let go of R. We don't need that. But now we're going to hold 10 of that item to the left of the one that we want to duplicate. So again, we're duplicating hoverstones. So we're going to hold or try to take out 10 of the construct heads. But then we're going to press minus, go to the adventure log, and we're going to scroll down and load up 1 memory. We don't need to watch through it. You can press X and then plus to skip it. We just need to load it up. And then from here, if we press plus again and go back into our devices, you'll see that the device you're trying to duplicate will now say -9, or at least if you held 10 of the item to the left, it'll say -9. If you held less than that, then it'll be -1 less than however many you held. But we have our -9, so from here, we're going to just press B to close out of our inventory. We're going to finish throwing that homing cart, and you'll see you can't take that out here. And if we go back in, now you'll see that we have 10 hoverstones instead of the 1. And that's really all there is to it. Now, like ISD, this is going to limit you to only being able to dupe up to 10 of a single item, because basically what we're doing is we're tricking the game into copying the number of items that we're holding of one item into another item. So because we can only hold 10 Zonai devices, we can only duplicate up to 10 of one. So if you wanted to go higher than 10, then you would need to throw 9 of these on the ground until you have just the 1 left in your inventory. Or if you're set up with the homing carts and the construct heads, then you just throw out all of them and then pick your 1 back up, or in my case, if you didn't sort your inventory, then pick the 1 back up, and then you can just set right back up. Hold out our 10 again. Go load up our 1 memory. And then you'll see we have the -9 again, so we'll close out. Can't take that out here. And now we're back up to 10. And then we just pick everything back up. And now we've gone from 1 to 19 in about just a couple of minutes. So while this does still have the same max duplication restrictions as MTD, this will at least let you duplicate to that maximum significantly faster and make it much more viable for you to use this just in like a single use to just get a quick little handful of a device that you're basically out of. Namely, this will probably be helpful for supplying you with quick and easy big batteries in realistically just about anywhere that you go, because you just need to find a ledge. But that should do it for this video. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any new glitches. And we've recently set up a Discord server, so I'll have a link to that down in the description if you'd like to come hang out with us there. And as always, if you liked the video or if it helped you out, leave it a like and let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you next time.